The MLB postseason is coming at us full swing as we are down to the final 4 teams, but that is not the only excitement that we have for you today. From MLB to college teams, we're discussing it all right here on Touching All Bases. If you've been keeping up with the show, you'll know that I'm your host, Maura Kane, alongside my amazing panel of baseball experts, Kaden, Riley, Drew, Katie, and Jackson. It's great to have you all back. Our first segment is On Deck, where we're discussing the hottest potential draftees. This week, we're discussing Cam Cannarella, the number 2 college prospect from right here in Clemson. Panelists, what are your thoughts on his college performance so far and major league potential?
I mean, I just got to say he is one clutch player. I was at that game versus Florida when he had the game-saving home run and then the game-saving catch, and it was just electric. Like, players like that truly make baseball fun.
For sure, for sure. Fun fact, he's actually, this whole season, he's been playing with a torn labrum.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whole season.
Just had surgery.
And he's batting .337 while slugging 11 home runs with 60 RBIs. Like, isn't that, how about that?
That's incredible. With a torn labrum, too.
Yeah.
With the torn
Insane,
labrum.
yeah. Just imagine what he can do at full health.
Absolutely. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's so, sorry, I remember now. I think it's so fun how he's projected to go number 2 in the MLB draft. MLB actually has him going 3 to the Padres, but I think it's so fun how we're going to be watching the draft and someone from right where we go to school, like a student, like right by us, is going to be going a top pick in the MLB draft. Like, I think that's so fun, and I can't wait to see that.
And to talk about him going to the draft, talk about his future. I looked into him a little bit. I saw that he's very into like nature and fishing and stuff. And maybe I'm a little too maybe I'm reading into like his personal aspect or whatever a little too much. But I like guys that are interested in things like that because I don't know. Like, I feel like you go to that next stage, it can be super nerve-wracking. And I feel like someone who likes peaceful hobbies like that, he might have a good peaceful state of mind. Maybe he can mess up a little bit in the majors and he can still stay relaxed, stay at peace, and figure it all out and stuff. So I think he's less likely to get the yips because he's fishing, nature, hiking, and stuff. Yeah. Get that peaceful state of mind.
And we've seen him perform in such big moments in college already that I think that when he goes to the majors, he's really going to flourish, and especially if he has the opportunity to be on a team that makes it to the playoffs.
Like the Padres.
So excited to see
like, if he's on the Padres,
if he goes to the Padres,
that would be amazing. Him alongside Tatis in the outfield.
Electric.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh my God.
That would be awesome.
Just sniping catchers, or throwing to the catcher, tagging him out, so trying to get from third home and stuff. Oh, it'd be sick, man.
I mean, anyone who leads a team to a super regional for the first time in 14 years is no joke of a player.
No.
I feel like. The Tigers do, however, begin their 2025 campaign on February 14th, so very excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah. Excited to talk about that more once it gets to college baseball season.
Absolutely.
It's in our own backyard, so it's always fun to talk about it.
Always. We're going to talk so much Clemson in that, stretch.
Oh, yes.
Sure. Definitely more Clemson ACC for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Without sounding too biased.
Yeah, too biased.
So excited for that.
Mara, what's our next point?
Awesome. Next, we have our Major League 3 to C, where we will be discussing the top moments and statistics from around the MLB. Starting off, we'll break down one of the podcast's most discussed players, obviously other than Ben Rice, Shohei Ohtani. Despite being 7-for-9 with runners on base, Ohtani is currently hitless with runners on. Any thoughts?
Thank you very much.
Just wanted to say about Ben Rice, I mean, didn't even make the ALCS roster.
Thank you.
I think we got to explain this first to the viewers that are just now tuning in. So Drew over here, we were making.
We should do this every week.
Yes.
Okay.
Ben Rice
our postseason predictions, and Drew thought that Ben Rice was going to be a huge slugger in the postseason and lead
I did not
the
say
Yankees.
huge slugger.
Yeah,
I did not say huge slugger. I said he would hit 1 home run. That's what I said.
And let's just put it this way.
There were 3 sluggers on the Yankees. You said there's only 3 sluggers on the Yankees, and you said there's more, and you said, okay, name more than 3, and you said Ben Rice. And I was like,
that was a mistake on my part.
And then Ben Rice got cut from the ALCS
that was a bad
roster.
mistake on my part.
Ben Rice didn't play in the divisional, got cut from the championship series roster.
Okay.
That was a bad mistake for my part.
Let's answer the question, guys. Let's answer the question.
When we're doing a September call-ups watch list, Ben Rice can come back up. Y'all can tune in.
Okay, back to the question.
Ohtani.
Okay.
Ohtani.
Okay.
We can talk about
So, guys, Ohtani is currently hitless when there's nobody on base this postseason.
0 for 22.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
as a leadoff hitter, you can't do that. Dave Roberts has already come out and said he's not moving the lineup. Like, Ohtani's going to stay leadoff. I don't know why, but, like, as a leadoff hitter, you have to be able to get on base. And if you're not getting on base, then the next players aren't going to be able to bring you in. So that's why I think he should bat cleanup at least. So there'll be potential runners on, and he can actually do what he's been doing. What is he? 8 for?
He's 7 for 9.
7 for 9 with runners on.
That's incredible.
Like
Such a wild difference. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if the Dodgers aren't getting people on base, Ohtani's not either, and that's a serious problem for the Dodgers if
And I think
Ohtani is
I would normally agree with you if the Dodgers were not performing offensively. But I
Yeah,
think
it's
since they've
lucky
been
they
putting
are.
up 7, 8, 9 runs, I just don't see the point of changing anything in the lineup now. I think it could mess things up, just the flow that the offense has going right now. So I think even though he doesn't have the numbers this postseason to be an effective leadoff hitter, but more of an effective, third hole hitter, I think that they should just leave it where it is now because it's working. Don't mess anything up.
Yeah, I'm with Katie on that. Don't move him right now because while he has been hitting pretty horrible with leadoff, the 5 through 9 guys have been coming in and playing extraordinary so far for them so far. I mean, putting up 8, 9 runs a game at this point in the CS. And, I mean, what he's been able to do with those guys on has been astronomical for their success so far in the postseason. So I agree with Katie here. Don't move him. It might, of course, first inning might not be that great, but once those 5 through 9 guys come in there and they're runners on base, I mean, he's gonna be clutch. We've seen it all postseason so far, so for sure, don't move him because if you move him, it could mess up his mojo, his magic, because obviously with bases empty, it's been a little rough for him to start a lead game.
A little bit.
A little rough's an understatement.
so nasty.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if he's producing when the bottom lineup is producing as well and it's adding to their success so far, because, I mean, obviously Game 2 was a little bit of a struggle for them, but Game 3, I mean, it was like nothing changed. They skipped Game 2's mentality completely, picked up right where they left off Game 1, and I think they've scored, 16, probably 15 runs so far in the NLCS so far?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I disagree with y'all. I mean, I think it's rare in professional sports you watch someone and you're like, I could do that. But 0 for 22, I mean, he'd be more productive if you took his bat away for those at-bats. Like, he'd have a better chance of getting on base if he just didn't have a bat these last 22 at-bats. My biggest question I have, that I feel like y'all can answer better than I could, is why? I mean, like, there's so many theories you can think of. Some people just clutch up when obviously it matters more when there's people in scoring position, and maybe that just allows him to change it. But this stark of a difference statistically, I feel like, what do y'all think it is? What do y'all think
The statistic doesn't really make sense. I feel like he thinks more when it matters more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the opposite of the Judge effect that we've seen. It's like when runners are on base, he uses his critical thinking more, and he's overly observant. He's like, what pitch am I going to see next? He's heavily observant on the game, and when there's not runners, maybe he's thinking less.
Or maybe he's thinking home run when there's no runners, and that's messing him up. And when there's people on, he's just thinking make contact, we can score.
And it's kind of odd that it's happening because in the regular season, with no runners on, he batted .311, and then with runners not on the bases, he batted .308. So it was about the same. He was pretty even. So it's interesting to see this stark of a difference in the postseason.
Yeah, I would definitely say also, batting leadoff is probably one of the hardest things to do in the postseason because you don't know what the other guys bring into the game. And by his probably third, fourth at bat, he's going to know what to expect when he walks up to the plate because, it's hard to figure out what a pitcher's mindset's going to go with for that game. I mean, you can look at all the film, all the statistics, but you will not know what that first guy's going to throw when he's up to bat. And I do believe the pressure probably sometimes gets to him where he wants to go yard, and that's probably getting to him a little bit. But, batting leadoff's pretty hard. Postseason, obviously, is a little bit more difficult. So, yeah, I just think it's more of a what do I know the other guy's coming with me? Was he coming at me? Was he coming a fastball, changeup, slider? You don't know because it's a guy's chance in the postseason. They're going to mix things up to try to catch you off guard, and clearly it's been working.
And also, I've never played baseball, but I would imagine if you're in a dugout and your teammates are getting hits and they're getting on base, everyone's celebrating and stuff, and you step up, the energy and excitement just has to be there. When you're batting leadoff, it's just, you're just walking up and starting the game. It's completely, I think the energy's got to be different. And he might feed off of energy, and that's what makes players exciting and stuff. So I think it's a lovable trait about Ohtani, but I'd rather him get some hits with no one on too.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are definitely accounting for Ohtani's hitting with runners on, because they were last in the National League with 4 bunt hits, and have y'all been noticing they've been bunting more to get players in scoring position for Ohtani?
Yeah.
Like the 7 through 9, like Edman and all them, they've been bunting to move runners around, so whenever Ohtani does come up, he has more probability of getting them in.
Interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think there's kind of a double-edged sword with that, because they're doing something that they're not good at, and that could backfire on them big time. But clearly, the 5 through 9, it's clearly been working for them. So they've got something rolling, and keep with it.
Yeah, if the 5 through 9 was not on the roll that they're on right now, I feel like it'd be a huge problem for the Dodgers.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree
They weren't
more.
that good going into the postseason. They weren't supposed to be what they've been. That was an issue we brought up in the first episode, was the Dodgers 5 through 9 wasn't that great.
Yeah.
They proved us wrong, and I think that's why they're the best team in the playoffs, right?
Definitely a mentality switch hit them when they went to playoffs, because you're gonna need all 9 batters to get past this postseason. So definitely mentality changed.
Credit to the Dodgers and Ohtani for sure. Mara, what else do you have for us?
Yeah, moving on, we have Mark Vientos from the New York Mets. What do you guys think about his performance this postseason?
I will definitely take this here.
Of course he will, man.
Mark Vientos was my underdog MVP for the postseason last week, so of course I'm going to continue to run with him. He has been really helpful in the Mets making their postseason run this year. He's come up clutch multiple times. He's batting with a .676 slugging percentage, which is just really good for them. 0.378 batting average. So, this guy is clearly raking, and I saw an article today where they're like, it's like the 7 things we've learned about the postseason this year. Mark Vientos is actually good, which has clearly been outstated so far this postseason. And I think if they continue to obviously not just lean on him, but also Alonso, because he's starting to get a little bit of pep in his step, I think. And of course, Lindor has been carrying that team throughout this entire postseason. So, obviously continue to lean in on him. He's been kind of an underdog that's kind of flown in the radar. And I think now that he is getting the recognition that he deserves, how's that going to impact him? Because of course, with the Judge statement last week, lights got a little bright for him. We'll talk about him later though. But it comes down to, if the lights get a little too big for him, how's he going to react this time? Because you don't know how the lights are going to affect the player, and he's been kind of under everyone's radar. I think that's what's kind of made him special. So how is he going to handle being, registered as, okay, he's a threat now? What are the Dodgers going to do to take him out of the game?
Absolutely. This guy is making so much history. I have a few stats here. Vientos, the youngest player in history to hit a Grand Slam in league championship history. In Game 2, he became the youngest player ever to record 10 total bases in a single playoff game. In October, he leads baseball in hits 14 and RBIs 11. This one I found the most interesting because it's comparing him to Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, that's mine.
That's crazy.
Kaden, do you want to say it then?
No, you say it, man.
Okay,
Yeah, you got it. I have another
Vientos has 6 multi-hit games in his first 9 postseason contests. The only person in history with more is Ken Griffey Jr. with 7 in 1995.
That is
How about that?
That's a very good company to be in right there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Griffey's one of the guys that should have won a World Series but never did, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hate giving credit to the Mets, obviously, but Vientos, I can't lie, he's been crazy. It's the way he went from a disappointing prospect in 2023 to what he is now in 2024. He didn't even get the job first. Brett Beatty got the job at third base at the beginning of the season, and then as Brett Beatty fell off, they brought up Mark Vientos, and he's just took off. But Mets actually have the second oldest position player group in the MLB, and I feel like they really needed that young guy in Vientos to really boost them. But he's, out of all the players in the playoffs, he's 5th in weighted runs created, and then, as he said, leads all players in hits and RBIs, 2nd in home runs, and 3rd in runs scored.
And simply incredible. He's making history with every single swing that he makes, and he's walking through this postseason right now, and he's giving the Mets a chance.
I got one more stat for y'all that I found really interesting. I don't know about football fans and stuff here, but have y'all seen the stuff on how Deshaun Watson makes more money in one game than Brock Purdy does in a season.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Everyone makes more
So,
money than Brock
Daniel
Purdy.
Jones.
Pick one game his teammate Lindor has played over the summer. Just any game. He made more money than Vientos will make this entire postseason. If it's a doubleheader, he made about
That's
60% of Vientos' annual salary. It's
Insane.
absolutely insane. So,
That's a call for a contract extension, a little bit of paycheck.
Or it could be a call for him to go to a different team, maybe. Perhaps go for the
Trade.
bag, trade.
I don't know. After
Braves?
oh yeah. No, we have Austin Riley.
No.
Don't.
If they make the
coming back.
CS, I wouldn't.
are they like similar types of players?
Yeah, if they got bounced in like the divisional. And like they're not gonna
gotta keep
start a rebuild. They're not gonna start a rebuild now. I mean, they made the championship
Like a
series.
reload.
No.
Yeah.
They're not gonna rebuild. They're not gonna trade him.
It was looking like it, but
They're gonna
Yeah.
They're gonna build up that team. They're not going anywhere.
And not to sound like an annoying Astros fan, but I do have to say he reminds me a lot of Jeremy Pena in the 2022
Very fair.
Yes.
Very
playoff
fair.
run.
Very fair.
Had an average season. I mean, Pena had a good season for being a rookie, but an average season overall, nothing too impressive, and then comes to the postseason and just absolutely explodes and booms and comes up in clutch moments. And
And
so
hopefully he falls off like Pena did after that season.
stop. Stop. But I see that if Vientos is able to continue, coming up in clutch moments, I see that he could be the NLCS MVP, and if he's able to lead the Mets to the World Series, could also potentially be a World Series MVP.
How about that? I can't believe we're talking about Mets in the World Series right now.
It's killing
It's
me.
so gross.
Right,
It's so gross.
That's
So,
not a
so
statement I'd
recently
ever
we were
wanna
playing
say.
them in a little doubleheader, and it was like, we're better, we're gonna beat them, and then
And then they
now
make.
they're-
Oh my gosh. I can't,
Honestly, that makes me feel better about how I played them the last in the season. That makes me feel better. Hey, we lost to a CS team.
That's why I
they're
want
not
the Padres to
not
win.
a championship series team.
Okay.
They're just the 2021 Braves. They got hot.
Well,
Okay.
there's always
happen.
teams that get
Yeah, you
hot
gotta
every
embrace that.
postseason.
Yeah, you
They're
can.
not-
The hottest,
Diamondbacks.
team will always.
I
win
do
the World
not
Series.
think they'll carry this into next season. They're not going to be like this next season.
Sure.
That's
Enjoy-
my hot take.
That- that
makes
the
it-
Philly
gotta enjoy
slump.
this season.
That's my hot take. Yeah, Mets aren't going to be playing like this come April.
Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Another Diamondback
Mara,
situation.
what's our next point?
And finally, for our Major League 3 to see, we will be discussing how the stars of the 2024 regular season have been underperforming in the 2024 postseason. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think it's kind of like what we were just talking about. We were just saying that the hottest teams are who perform well in the playoffs. It might not be the best team, but it's the hottest team. And I think in the same way that can go for players. It might not be who's like the best player on the paper, who had the best regular season, but whoever is hot right now is like Mark Vientos per se. Like, he didn't have a great regular season, but he's hot right now. And I think that is what can make some players, just be the best players in the postseason. That it's not about being the best on paper, but just getting hot at the right times.
Yeah, I definitely think being an all-star should not matter as much on your resume than performing in October, because
Absolutely.
Baltimore's 4 all-stars. They went 3 for 32. Philly's 2 all-star relievers, 10 earned runs, 2 blown saves, 2 losses. Emmanuel Clase, fantastic closer all the regular season, gave up that 3-run homer to Kenny Carpenter. Skubal, amazing regular season, Cy Young Award winner most likely. Ran out of gas in that 5th inning against whoever, Guardians.
He had a good playoffs.
Grand slam.
You
He
can't
did.
go.
He did have a good.
He overall had a pretty good.
He did
Screwball
have
had
a
a good
good
October.
October, but
Screwball was great in October.
you got it. You just have to finish it out. I mean, he just ran out of gas in the wrong moment, and
Absolutely.
but yeah.
For me,
Definitely.
there are really there's really 3 different parts of the season. There's before the All-Star break, after the All-Star break, and playoffs. And, I mean, a lot of guys after the All-Star break will just dip down in productivity. I mean, it's been shown multiple times across the years.
And
But,
teams.
I mean,
The Phillies.
yeah.
Gotta
It's,
say, 33 and 33 after the break.
I mean, there's always a second half of that season. Somebody could have a absolutely stellar first half, and that second half can just get to them sometimes. Just how much stamina and how much gas you got to go. Clearly, Skubal was one of the guys that kind of ran out in the end.
I think that this postseason has proven also that mentality is so important.
Absolutely.
And just as important as quality is in a player.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to talk a lot more about that in a second. But, and I don't have a ton to contribute to this one. But, I mean, yeah, I think if you're an all-star, and you're in the playoffs, I think wanting to be a hero on an individual level versus wanting to have a productive at-bat for your team.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't want to, we're talking about 31 people and I've never met any of them, so I don't know them on a personal level. I'm not going to, except for Aaron Judge, I'm not going to judge 30 of them, you know. But like, I think there's, I mean, like I said, a lot of sense of like, I'm stepping up to the plate, I'm going to be a hero here, and I think take swings that are a little too big, and it can lead to some issues for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
in the playoffs.
I mean, even with, you know, a lot of the All-Star players struggling, there still have been some that have been producing incredibly. I mean, probably the best All-Star so far this postseason has been Tatis. I mean, he's 11 for 26 with 4 home runs.
R.I.P.
I mean,
I already miss
yeah.
him, y'all.
We love you, Ty.
I mean,
I've watched a lot less baseball
yeah,
since
it really sucks without him less in it. Yeah, but even that, Pete Alonso still has 3 home runs. Mookie Betts has 2. Even another guy that kind of flew under the radar, Stephen Kwan, he's still in it.
Yep.
He's batting .524, but he's got 0 RBIs and 0 home runs. So while he's been struggling in the slugging department, .524 average is still pretty good in the postseason so far. But I mean, yeah, I don't know what happened to the rest of those guys. Clearly, it's a mentality thing. It could be, you know, wanting to be the hero. Okay, they just found something.
Oh, there's a game on right now.
Yeah, Yankees Guardians are playing right now. Yankees just went up 1-0.
Well, they already know.
Who did it?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah, let's see.
Update, guys, live.
Aaron Judge
yeah.
hits a home run.
But yeah, it's definitely a. It's probably a mentality thing for them.
Oh, Trevino grounded to it.
Oh.
Boring. Not a Judge.
All right, Trevi.
Not a
I was
Judge
about to say,
home
if
run.
Judge hit a home run, and he's going to do it while I'm talking
Dude.
bad about it.
We're watching
Yeah.
Jim
Well-
on here.
I gotta get this on my computer.
Yeah.
Well, while Drew tries to find the Yankees game, Maura, what are we talking about next?
You know it's going to be a good show when Drew has his computer, Jackson has his computer and brings out his notepad. Anyway, closing this out, per usual, we have, you guessed it, buy or sell. This should be much calmer and much less insulting now that the Phillies are completely out of the picture, but we'll see. Anyway, our first topic for debate is there will be a Subway Series World Series.
I'm going sell on this one. Hopefully y'all can see it this time because last week I was a little bad at that. Yeah, I'm going to sell on this. I love the Mets. I have enjoyed them so far.
Why'd you say that?
Only the postseason.
No,
so
you
far.
can't.
that's a
you
disgusting
honestly,
statement.
You can't say that.
But I have liked them so far. They have been probably the best underdog so far this postseason. And I just really, after watching the 3 games so far this postseason against the Dodgers, I don't think it's going to be enough. And it all stems down to that end of rotation. I think the Mets, their rotation kind of starts off great and then drops off in quality. The Dodgers just has arm after arm after arm, and it's hard to compete against that. And I think you told me earlier, Sengai's supposed to pitch the 5th game.
Senga's pitching the 5th game. Yep.
That's probably the pivotal game right now, and if we've looked at all of his postseason starts combined, it's very rough. So, yeah, the Mets are going to have to take the next game to make it a good series because if Sengai goes up there with the series on the line, I do not see him I don't see him competing very well.
I'm also selling this. Yeah, I think the Mets' comeback magic has run out. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This championship series has been a snooze fest for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mets have been shut out twice in 3 games already. They got shut out at home last night. That you can't do that. And then the Dodgers pitching, they minus game 2. We're gonna ignore game 2. 42 scoreless innings. With the Padres and the Mets, 42 scoreless innings. And then obviously they got Buehler out of the way. I was worried about Buehler. I can't trust Buehler, but Mets weren't able to take advantage of him last night. And also with them having Severino, they needed that game pitching Severino. But now they have to go and face Yamamoto and Flaherty, and I don't think they're gonna. It's just not looking good.
It's Buehler let me down.
It's so crazy how for the Dodgers, you can just name player after player after player, and they're all just so quality. I feel like that's just a standout thing about the Dodgers for sure.
At this point, it's become quality over quantity. Dodgers just have a lot more quality players.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to agree with them. I'm going to sell. I mean, after the first 2 games, the series between the Mets and the Dodgers, it was tied 1-1, and the Mets were going back to play at home for 3 games. So it seemed like the Mets were in the driver's seat. It seems like they could really take advantage of the series while they were at home. However, first game at home, they lost 8-0.
Like, how do you get shut out at home?
Yeah.
What was it, their first championship series in Citi Field since 2015? Probably.
Maybe.
Something
Yeah.
like, but like,
Expectations.
You would know.
again.
I don't listen to Met stats. So.
so I just know they haven't done
I've
anything.
never seen a Mets. stat.
I
just
don't look
know-
at Met stats.
I just know they haven't done anything since 2015. So,
Yeah.
but you can't do that.
Fair
You just
enough.
can't do that at home.
You got
You,
it.
you want me to
Yeah,
go?
you got it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I also have Sal on my board, if you can see it. I think
Yeah,
you can.
it's
Because I believe Senga pitching in Game 5 is going to be a nightmare.
He's awful.
He's
He's pitched. That's going to be his 4th start this season.
how do you go onto the mound after against the same team after what you showed in that Game 1? That was
Just why is he even in the postseason? Like seriously, like really?
see, that's a little.
No, seriously.
Like
How did he make it?
It's
Yeah,
just
no,
like
it's
how
weird.
desperate did they had to be to put him on the roster?
Yeah. What is this? Yeah. 1.1 innings pitched. 2 hits.
How was the inning?
Three earned runs, 4 walks. 4 walks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You can't do that.
They got to move the strike zone for him. They
And
gotta,
like, why are they starting him? I
Move the
was
strike zone? Where is the strike zone?
He doesn't know. He's like,
no, I was saying this. I was watching the game. I was like,
He's trying to
whose
get the play.
decision was it to start him this game? Because they need to be fired immediately.
I mean, did they put a bunch of money in him or something?
yeah, I feel
seriously.
like if you told someone like, hey, throw the game, they would do a little better than that. You know, because they don't want to be too obvious about it. You know, I feel like they wouldn't do that bad in an inning.
He's like
Yeah,
playing
they're
softball
trying
compared to
lose.
these guys.
So everyone else sold. I guess I'm trying so hard to be different. I'm so cute and quirky. I'm buying here. And so I don't love New York teams, so I'm definitely biased. I don't really have an Empire State of mind. But the stat I saw that really caught my attention is Jose Quintana. He's pitching Game 4, and he's 3-2 against the Dodgers. He's got a 2.04 ERA. So I think he has something against LA, and I think that could translate over. And so yeah, I think that could lead to some success.
I think that's a very fair point. I feel like it all depends on who pitches in that Game 6 for the Mets, depending on. Is it official? Is there anything on Game 6 yet?
Game
or-
6. When would Game 6 be?
Oh,
So today is Game 4,
yes.
Game 5,
It's great.
Game 6 on Sunday.
Game 6
Talk
on
show.
Sunday. Yeah, sounds
They
right.
don't have anyone yet.
Yeah. So
Nothing yet. Hopefully not a bullpen because they already threw a bullpen Game 2. Which
Yeah.
we
What are we
saw.
talking about?
Dodgers. Which-
Otani pitching Game 6.
Stop. He's not
Otani's
pitching.
pitching. We were texting about
We
that
were
yesterday.
talking about that yesterday.
She had to explain it to me. We're good now. Yeah.
Otani's not pitching, and if he does, fire Dave Roberts immediately.
I do.
you.
I want to make sure.
Almost
I
as
do
bad-
agree.
Almost as bad as
Yeah.
Senga.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, him and Senga just go ahead and, yeah.
2 peas in a pod.
That's a good would you rather. Who'd you rather for one inning? Who'd you rather be pitching, Otani or Senga?
Oh, Otani. I'm sorry.
Otani for 1 inning.
One
Otani.
inning.
Senga's been healthy and has been blasted. So I mean,
He has not. Well, he hasn't been healthy because he's only made 4 starts this season. 3 of them going to be in the postseason.
they still allowed him to play and
Mr.
look at him.
October. Yeah.
Before we start our own buy or sell here, let's move on to our next actual buy or sell.
Thanks, everyone. Kaden, we all know that one person that just wants to be different. Anyway, next up we have Aaron Judge's home run will turn his postseason around.
I would love to request. I practiced this speech at home. I have a little bit of. I'm pretty passionate about this. I'd love to request 2 minutes to give a speech.
Go ahead.
2 minutes to give a speech.
You got
2 minutes,
You
you
got
got
the
it.
floor, Kaden.
Thank you guys.
got the
okay.
floor.
And I'm gonna try to not do a Stephen A. Smith impression because that's not this show and that's not me.
Start
But I'm,
screaming.
How
Yeah,
about
I'm very
them
passionate about
Cowboys?
this.
Start
Okay?
screaming.
I can't lie, y'all. I'm a little disappointed about this question. Just the fact that we're entertaining this idea, because our whole thing last week was Aaron Judge's batting average is awful. His strikeout rate is terrible. It's high. But he does hit home runs in the postseason, and we kind of all came to a conclusion that it's his mentality. He steps up to the plate every time saying, this one's going to be a home run. He swings for the fences. There's nothing strategic about it, and that comes to his detriment. And then he hit 1 home run, and it's the whole, as he turned everything around. I think if we were all playing basketball and I was a point guard, I told you this before the show, if I take the ball up the court every time and just chuck it up from half court, y'all would say, man, Kaden sucks. Or you wouldn't say Kaden. You would say, maybe Kaden's good, but his ego-based decision-making is a detriment to this team. If one of those half-court shots banked in, you wouldn't say, did Kaden turn his game around? Did everything change? No, you'd say, this strategy that is not working worked once, and you should still change it because look in the long run, it's not working out. I do have a personal vendetta against Aaron Judge, and I'm just real quick. I feel like I found a good way to articulate the energy he gives off to me. So I would like y'all to stay with me here, because I couldn't think of a good movie or TV show character that would like perfectly describes this. Maybe Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, you know. But Aaron Judge reminds me of a guy. We all know guys like this, who their approach with girls is they're going to go up with this huge ego, and it doesn't matter what kind of negative signals they're getting or what kind of hints to go away, how dry they're being. They're going to shoot their shot, and you watch them fail miserably, and it's disgusting. And I think that's Aaron Judge stepping up to the plate. There's no, where are we at in the game? Where are the batters on? How many outs do we have? You know, what's the pitcher giving me? There's none of that. It's I'm Aaron Judge, I'm the best, and I'm swinging for the fences every single time. And I think the girls here can testify a little better than I can about this, but it doesn't matter how attractive the person is. If you see someone go up to a girl with no account for their, you know, whatever their, well, now I'm thrown off. You see a guy go up to a girl with no like regard for their ego or I'm almost done. If you see a guy, it's a long speech. You see a guy go up to a girl with a huge ego, with no regard for like what hints they're dropping or what they're trying to say and stuff, and still shoot their shot and fail miserably. It's gross. It's icky. They look a lot less attractive after that, and that's how I feel watching Aaron Judge play. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter how incredible you are at baseball. It doesn't matter how attractive you are. That you're not above being able to just force a situation on a whim. You can't just go up to someone and say, I'm so hot. It's a blessing I'm talking to you. You can't just step up to the plate and say, hey, no matter what, this is going to be a home run because I'm incredible. It doesn't matter. Being amazing means that you get so many more opportunities than the average person, and it's your job to identify those opportunities and take advantage of them. Aaron Judge's inability to do that is why he is the biggest postseason bust in baseball, which is why I'm absolutely selling.
Wow,
I don't even know how to follow that up.
I think the only person that deserves to follow that up is the Yankees.
I would like to go last, actually. I would love to hear all this. I would love to hear all the sell points before I go.
Oh my gosh.
That is quite the comparison, Kaden. I'm not sure I agree with your comparison, but I will agree with your take.
Okay.
And I am also going to sell this. Because as I was doing research today, I was looking at Aaron Judge's stats from all of the previous postseasons. And what I found most interesting is that a lot of times he would start, that was scary, he would start the postseason hot,
Get that away from you.
and then his batting average and his slugging would slowly decrease. And so I just don't see how he's already started not hot at all. I just do not see him getting better from here. That's never happened in a postseason before. He's always just slowly gotten worse and worse as the postseason goes on. There's never been an instant in which he has miraculously gotten better.
I'll just say this. I don't care if you hit one home run and suck. If you suck continuously and hit one home run, that does not change my opinion. I'm sorry. For anyone that, the fact that we're even having to talk about this, always Judge Becker hits one home run is ridiculous. It's clearly, why? Why are we even talking about that? That should not be a subject.
Thanks, guys.
I like it.
I was going to say he wrote the script. You weren't here on the last episode either, too. So
No, I wasn't.
I always love talking about
it's
Judge.
very unfair. Yeah.
It literally is so stupid. I do not get this.
Judging Judge.
It's really dumb. Oh, wow, he hits one home run. Is he back? No, of course not. He's back. Seriously, it's Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I'm also selling. I think he was a little upset about they intentionally walked Juan Soto to get to him last night, and I think that kind of ticked him off a little bit. But after hitting that home run, I don't think the Guardians will walk Soto anymore, so that won't get to him anymore. But also, the Yankees have not needed Judge. They were not. What I'm trying to say is that homer last night was not the deciding factor of the game. They were going to win no matter what. They haven't. Judge has done nothing this whole postseason, and they're still up 2-0 in the championship series, going to go to the World Series. I will say that they absolutely will need him in the World Series if they make it. But honestly, if they've played, who have they played? The Guardians and the Royals.
Yep.
If he can't hit that pitching, how is he going to hit the Mets or the Dodgers pitching? That's my question. So.
That's my other point.
So.
He's played the Royals
And the
Guardians. Seriously? That's what, maybe one or two good pitchers?
Easiest path to the World Series.
It's really an easy path. I don't see how you could say how oh, he hit 1 home run against the Guardians, he's back. Unless he hits a home run and has a above 500 batting average game against the Dodgers, yes, you could probably make a case saying he's back. But hitting 1 home run against the Guardians does not tell us and anyone that you are back.
It doesn't scare me.
No.
I'm not scared of Judge.
I don't think it scares the Dodgers or the Mets one bit. I don't even think it scares the Guardians at all.
No.
They're probably more scared about Soto than Judge.
Probably
So
more
last
scared
week-
about Ben Rice.
His batting average. He'd be the fifth pinch hitter on the
I
eighth.
was actually about to say Ben
I'll-
Rice.
Dude, I was gonna compare his stats to Ben Rice's, but in the postseason. But Ben Rice is barely a little bit worse. You know, just
All right.
yeah.
All right. So
Let's hear it out.
All right, Yankees
reason-
fan, take the floor.
So I have bye on my board. And the reason why I have bye on my board, because the whole Yankees team is starting to hit. Correct. We know that. That's obvious. Without Judge, they're starting to hit.
With
And they're
Giants
getting into
and Judge.
yeah. And without Judge, they're getting into form. And they're taking the pressure off of Judge slowly but surely. And I feel like that's the reason why he made contact to, I believe it was 3 out of the 5 at-bats that he got hit in Game 2. And he made contact with a few in Game 1 as well. The important thing about Judge's at-bats in this postseason is that he's getting pitched higher than he did in any of the regular season games. All of his pitches high in the zone. Most of them during the regular season were low in the zone, bottom to middle of the zone, and he could easily hit those. It's a matter of inches of adjustment off of his swing, and he's been doing it slowly but surely at every single at-bat. I've been watching Judge at-bats specifically for this question at hand, and he's been adjusting his swing little by little by little up the strike zone to adjust to the pitches that he has been aligned to. And I feel like with this home run, he's finally cracked the code of how much do I have to adjust? How far up do I have to go to be able to get back to ball, full bat to ball? The important thing about Judge's home run is that it is the highest in the zone home run that he has ever had in his career. So that shows that he's being pitched to higher. And that is why I believe that Judge is going to be changing, and he's making adjustments slowly but surely so that he can be used to hitting against this new pitching style that he's not used to.
So, first of all, is your first argument that Aaron Judge tends to fold under pressure, and as he enters the World Series, the pressure will lessen, and then he will be relaxed?
I don't think the pressure will lessen. However, I don't think it's the lights that's the problem. I think the problem is that his team wasn't hitting, and it was his game to win every single game. And that now it's not that. Now it's not that. Gleyber Torres is hitting. Stanton is hitting. Soto's hitting a little less than usual, but he's starting to get back into Soto form. And I feel like with all these accumulation of these players hitting, it's going to make Judge hit more, and he's going to have less pressure on him to hit in the lineup.
So his argument is the team's getting hot, but so your argument is the team's getting hot. Judge himself is not getting hot. The entire team is.
I think I think the home run proves that he's getting there, however.
I think that's a very fair argument.
I did say earlier about Ohtani, when you see in the dugout, it's got to be more exciting when you see people getting
Yeah.
on base. That could apply to Aaron Judge, but Ohtani's awesome.
And
Aaron Judge
I think
is
what he's
gonna be-
saying is now Judge isn't going to have the feeling that it's all on me. I have to win this game for us.
Absolutely.
And so there's less internal pressure. It's not like the outside noise of, oh, this is the playoffs. It's the internal pressure that he feels like, oh, this is all on me. But now that his whole team is performing, he knows that he can just, be himself, do his part, and his other teammates will come in and help him out when,
But if he has less pressure, shouldn't that make him more loose and be able to perform better?
I think the fact that he has less pressure on him will make him perform better. That's what I believe. I think.
But he has had less pressure on him.
No, but
So
now,
like the regular
now
season,
the
he had
Yankees.
less pressure.
He's had a lot of pressure because the Yankees haven't been hitting.
I will say
and now that the Yankees are hitting more,
That's the
But they've been
problem. If
hitting
the
for the
Yankees
past
drop
week and a
back off.
half. They've been hitting for the past week and a half. Where is he?
Here's the thing: if the Yankees drop back off in the World Series, they're going to have to depend on him again. Is he going to be able to do it? That's the question.
Automatically step up. I mean,
I see what you're saying, and I do agree. And this isn't really the question. I'll take a little step back real quick. And I think Aaron Judge, I think I said this in the last show too. The difference between like incredibly talented, statistically productive players and great players is when the pressure is so unbelievably high and it comes down to how you can succeed. Like some people fold under that and some people thrive under that. And I think that's why Aaron Judge can never be like a legendary, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of person. Those two basketball players, but you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the captain of the team, I mean, when your team,
Yeah,
when the rest of your team is struggling, you have to depend upon the captain to take advantage to hold this team together. He wasn't.
I'm not saying that he has been at all. I'm just saying I think this is a stone that he can step on and that will make him better than he is now.
Yeah,
like his standard will go up and he will perform better than he is now. I don't know if that means maybe he'll get 1 hit a game or maybe he'll get 2 hits a game. I think he'll be better over time.
I see fair points everywhere.
I think it definitely is showing who the Yankees are as a team, because like before this postseason, I've seen the Yankees as only Judge, and how Judge performs, that's how the Yankees perform. But as Judge has kind of fallen off, like the Yankees have really stepped up, and now I do view the Yankees as an actual good team and not just Judge.
As much as I would love to talk about the Yankees all day, we are running a little bit low on time.
Yeah,
so, Maura, what's our next question at hand?
Last one.
Yeah, speaking of running out of time, do you guys think we could like put a word count at the bottom next time someone starts off a sentence with, I prepared a speech, or maybe a word limit, I don't know. And last,
Never happen again.
certainly not
like 2
least,
weeks.
we have, this is Cleveland's only deep playoff window. Any thoughts?
We can keep this one quick too.
Yeah,
I'm buying it. They're not winning the World Series, period. There was never a window. There's never a playoff window with them. But honestly, the AL Central is a crapshoot. Anyone can win that. The Tigers will be getting better. The Royals will be getting better. The Twins were on their tail until September. I mean, it was uncharacteristic for the Astros to also not win 90 games. And if they had won 90 games, they would have been in the wild card. And that's getting the first round bye is definitely a huge thing to do. But yeah, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, they've also they played the Tigers, and you're just not gonna play the Tigers every postseason.
Yeah.
And they're now getting exposed by the Yankees. I don't see the only AL competition realistically making the postseason, making the World Series, is the Yankees and the Astros. Every year, the other teams will just be Cinderella stories to me.
I'm going to have to go ahead and sell, because my viewpoint is they're doing it now. They've made it to the ALCS, and next year their free agents, or the people that are going off to free agency, are Shane Bieber, who pitched 2 games for them this season, is not playing in the postseason. Matthew Boyd, who only had 8 starts in the regular season. He does have a 0 ERA in the postseason, though. And then Austin Hedges, who had a 152 batting average and negative WAR. And then Alex Cobb, who only pitched 3 games this season and 2 games in the postseason, in which he has a 7.94 ERA. And on top of that, they also have top prospects that are coming up, including the 2024 #1 overall pick, Travis. I'm going to butcher his last name, so I'm just going to call him Travis.
Yes, congratulations.
But they have talent coming up, and I think if they go get a few off-season pieces, they can add to this team and make it a team that really has some potential to go deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, I am also going to sell on this. I think they will. I think they have the seeds to make another deep playoff run again. I really do. Obviously, with that division. I think it's more of a 4-team than a 5-team, because the White Sox are kind of.
Yeah, forget the White Sox.
The White Sox are historically bad.
Sell that team.
Yeah, but I mean,
Apology letter.
That was so funny.
I love the apology letter.
yeah, I mean, the Twins obviously, they'll pull it together sometime soon. Who knows? It's really up to debate for them. But I think the 2 most solid teams in that division right now are the Royals, who are clearly a up-and-coming young team. The Tigers obviously got to figure out those pieces with, of course, Skubal hitting.
They just need pitching.
Free agency, yeah. And obviously, I think the Tigers a little bit to say that they're kind of a shaky team right now. You don't know what they're going to do in the offseason. Royals are pretty sturdy so far. Really, the only completely sturdy team inside and out is the Guardians in that division. And I think as long as they stay that way, I think they'll continue to win the division. And I think it'll get them that first round bye that'll get them into the divisional round. So, I mean, I just think that I think the Royals are their only competition if the Tigers hold it together, and I think obviously the Guardians, I think will beat the Royals. So yeah, I see the Guardians continually making a deep postseason run. I really do. I think they could be a team that could, we could see every single year in the divisional round. I really do.
Real fast, I'll try to counteract my last one. It was 505 words, by the way, so maybe 500 could be the word count. Maybe like 200. I'm buying, and real fast, I just want to talk about their first pick, because the Cleveland Guardians had the first pick last year, and I'm going to talk about him. I'm just going to give you 4 fun facts about him real fast. His name was Travis Bazana? Didn't y'all know?
We're going with Travis.
All right,
Travis.
He was born in Australia. Okay, only one Australian baseball player has ever hit 30 home runs in their career. Dave Nilsson. He was the first overall pick, so he should be the second to do it. In high school, he was a cricket, baseball, rugby, and soccer star. Okay, and so they call him the Wonder from Down Under and the Basmanian Devil. And the last one I'll give you is he played in Australia's pro league when he was just 15 years old, which I kind of like because, other guys are 15, they're batting like 450 in their high school and stuff. He's in a professional league with 25-year-olds, and he's batting like 250 and learning and stuff from a young age. So I thought that was really cool. That's all I'll say about that.
My board does say buy. However, I am selling on this point.
Oh.
And
Convinced you, or reverse convinced you.
I believe that there's so many other younger teams around that the Cleveland Guardians will be able to make a deep playoff run. I didn't really do much research into this one, to be honest, because it is the Cleveland Guardians, and I did focus my speech on the Yankees. However,
Me too.
Classic Yankees fan.
However, I do believe the Guardians can make a postseason run again because it is baseball after all, and any team can do anything as proved by the Tigers and the Mets.
Honestly, the AL is just so trash that anyone can make it, besides the Yankees.
It's bad when when 3 teams from one
From
division.
the AL
the Tigers
Central,
and the Royals.
The AL Central, that is the worst division.
It's like the NFC South
I was
just being
about
all making
to
the
say
playoffs. It'd be like if the
that.
Bucks, Saints, and
That's
Falcons
just the
all made the
Central
playoffs.
for the MLB. I mean, the NL Central and the AL Central are just.
Minus the
Yeah.
Brewers.
They're rough to
but
look
yeah.
at.
Brewers are good.
It is.
Fun episode, guys.
We did it. We kept it short. We
Oh,
did
I also want to say, Aaron Judge is currently 0 for 2 in the game right now.
Okay.
They're down 2-1.
Hey, that half-court shot's going to bank in, and Drew's going to go crazy. I'll be right.
Okay. All right.
All right, I think that's it for today. We'll be back next week with more playoff action and hot takes. A big thanks to Zach and Connor in the studio for making this all possible, and for you, our millions of viewers. Catch you next time on Touching All Bases.
I didn't talk to the ESPN producers.